So in the summer of last year, I got the chance to take a visit to a place called the Strasburg Railroad, and today I'll be talking all about it. If you were on the channel about 2 years ago, you'll see that I filmed some footage of my trip to Strasburg. However, this was during the time where some things were closed and we all had to wear masks, so I didn't get a proper chance to see much. But this time, I got to see a bunch more than my last visit, and that's what we'll be talking about today. So without further ado, let's begin. Before I had gone to see the railway, I first stopped to see the Red Caboose Motel, which was pretty close by to the railway. Inside the building was a big store which had a little model train run around a loop. It also had a dining area which were made from 2 dining cars on both sides of the building. I actually ate inside one of the cars and got to see 475 puffing backwards down the line. Along with the restaurant and store were the motels made from old cabooses of many colors, shapes, and sizes. Once I got into the railroad, I saw 475 waiting at the station with the coaches. So I took the opportunity to take some footage of the locomotive before getting to ride on her. As soon as I got into the engine, we started making our way down the line. However, soon enough, the train got ready for the return journey back. Once we had arrived back, I saw the engine get ready for the next trip. I then entered a gift shop and got to see this creation of the East Strasburg station with a little take-along Thomas. Almost forgot to mention that while I was getting footage of the engine, this happened. Fortunately, I was able to see the miniature railway up and running, with the number 3 rolling into the station. We'll get back to the miniature railway in a little bit. Alright, now let's talk about the museum. So here's something I didn't get to do on my last visit. This time around, I got to go visit the Railroad Museum of Pennsylvania. But before I entered the building, on the outside I got to see a DD1 class and a GG1. I soon entered the museum, and there were many engines as far as the eye could see. From tender engines to tank engines, from replicas to rolling stock, there was so much to see. I also got to see some fireless engines for the first time, one that was orange and pretty small, and one that was blue and a bit bigger. I then saw a ginormous snowplow, and right next to it, I climbed into the cab of the engine 2846. I also gotta say, I really love how this engine looks. Soon I saw a little model railway in action. I then headed outside to the restoration yard, where I saw even more engines. I first saw two massive tender engines that I got to get a closer look at. I even stood next to one of them just to see how gigantic the engine was, and so did my brother. There was also a turntable that had a lot of different engines and rolling stock around it, including what I believe is called a rail motor car. Quite a queer looking engine if I do say so myself. I then headed back into the museum and took a picture with what was probably my two favorite locomotives in the entire museum. Once I left the museum and gone back to the railway, I got to take a proper look at the miniature engine. Honestly, the size of this thing is adorable. I love seeing this little guy in action. Then I saw 475 roll back into the station with yet another passenger train. However, it was time for my trip to come to an end. But before I left for home, I got to see 475 one last time as she filled up with water for her next journey. I had a lot of fun visiting the railroad again, and I'm very happy I got to actually see the museum and the miniature railway at work. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. This is the Northwesterner, signing off.